What's up, guys? I normally don't come on here fired up until playoff time because that's when the real season starts. Is when the conference championships start. That's when the real season starts for teams like Clemson, Alabama. All of us are basically just us. But anyway, I want to get on here today and talk about the lack of respect for Clemson this year by the media is a bit mind-boggling, to say the least. And I don't know if it goes back to the Syracuse game or what it does. But you got Ohio State, and you had Georgia before they lost, and obviously Alabama up at number 1. And anybody who gets a ranked win is pretty much jumping Clemson at this point. And you look at the fact that Clemson has actually, up to this point, Alabama's going to get a little bit tougher, but up to this point, we've actually played equal schedule to Alabama, if not a little tougher. Ohio State, we've played an equal schedule to, if not a little tougher. Yet, you see these teams jumping. At Georgia, we had definitely played a tougher schedule than Georgia. They jumped us. And it's a bit mind-boggling because it seems to go back to the Syracuse game. I mean, that's what it seems to go back to. There's a little bit of quarterback uncertainty, of course. But other than Alabama, what other teams have great backup quarterbacks who could definitely lead them to the playoff anyway? So it's like, okay, what if Trevor Lawrence gets hurt? We're going to start moving Clemson down. And then it goes back to the Syracuse game where Clemson escapes a good, not great by any means, Syracuse team. So we're down to Syracuse late. Look, we had lost our first and second string quarterback that week. I want you to tell me what other teams, how they'd perform without their first or second string quarterback in a big conference game. I want to know who you think would have an easy win. I don't think Alabama would blow many teams out in that situation if they don't have Tua or Jalen Hurts on the team for that game. Are you kidding me? You think it's going to be an easy win for them? No. Ohio State, hilariously, no. They lose the game if they don't. They lose that game if they don't have their first and second string quarterback. Notre Dame, they lose the game if they don't have their first and second string quarterback. Georgia, even though they're kind of moving out of the playoff discussion, they're still obviously in it. They're slowly moving out. They might be the only team that really has a good chance because of their good running attack. LSU maybe, but the point is, everybody struggles. Every single team will struggle in that situation. It doesn't matter how good you are. Everybody's going to struggle. The fact that Clemson came back and won with a third-string quarterback should be getting praised like crazy. And obviously, ETN was the number one reason we won that game because we have the best running back core in the nation. Have the best running back in the nation. Snell, you're great, but you're behind ETN. It's mind-boggling. Clemson just keeps moving back. We moved up just because Georgia lost. And Ohio State's pathetic selves, they have not beat a team with a winning record against FBS teams yet. And they struggled against Minnesota, healthy, and should have lost to a pretty bad TCU team, not good by any means. Should have lost to them healthy, and they jumped Clemson. And it's not even just by a little bit. They've got a good bit more votes. They're getting more praise, and it's based on preseason rankings. The lack of respect is ridiculous. This is the best Clemson team possibly ever. And we struggled against Syracuse, but we're going to start rolling teams, and you're seeing it now. Roll Georgia Tech and Wake, who aren't good teams, but we rolled them a lot better than most teams that have played them have. Notre Dame definitely gave up a lot of points to that Wake Forest team who could not get first downs until late in the game. Their second string defense, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But it's just mind-boggling that a team who Clemson owns, like Ohio State, who Dabo owns, and a team who hasn't done anything since 2014, okay, except for getting killed by Iowa and getting shut out by Clemson, done nothing since then. They're jumping up, they're pulling up, and getting way more love than Clemson. And now there's arguments, there's pages I keep seeing them pop up. CBS Sports, ESPN, Clemson is the weakest contender. You gotta be kidding me. I guess we're going to have to start beating everybody by 50. Let's keep the starters in. And we'll see. I mean, it doesn't really matter until the college football playoff polls come out. We'll see. So I'm not going to go crazy against the college football playoff until we get them. And the college football playoff would have had Clemson in the BCS National Championship the last 3 years in a row. So or the BCS would have, Clemson would have been in the BCS National Championship the last 3 years based on the college football playoff rankings too. So we'll see what happens with that as long as we keep rolling, people. Got NC State this week, who we should roll. They're going to come in. They're cocky. They're talking trash. NC State, one of the biggest jackass coaches in the country, and Dave Dorian, worried about laptops instead of his failed coaching, his da-da-da-da-da, doesn't matter. Dorian's one of the biggest jokes in college football, and hopefully he'll stay at NC State forever because we own him as well as every other coach that's been at NC State since forever. So I think we should roll. This team's starting to get that underdog feel, which is dangerous for any elite team in the country. And, it's still true that it's Clemson, Alabama, and everybody else. All y'all are below us. It's those two. They're probably going to meet in the championship or the playoff again this year. And so we'll see when the media catches up to that, because right now I don't know if they're tired of Clemson, and Alabama is, nobody's going to get tired of Alabama because now they got an exciting offense. Maybe they're tired of Clemson. But this offense is going to put up numbers on Alabama if we do get to play them. And it'll be interesting. But I just wanted to come on here and see what everybody else thinks about this weird lack of respect. Is it all coming from the Syracuse game? The close game against a good Texas A&M game in a prime-time environment in which Clemson controlled the game most of the game. Texas A&M came back late. But Clemson controlled that game at a hostile environment. Does it go back to those two games? What is it? Because as of right now, Notre Dame's the only team. LSU and Notre Dame are the only teams with quality wins. So Notre Dame's right on the. We'll see if they jump us. If we have a close game, I bet they jump us this week. But what do y'all think it is that is kind of putting out all these articles, kind of giving Clemson a lack of respect? Was it the Syracuse game? What is it? Obviously, this will all take care of itself, but I just wanted to come out here and rant a little bit. I hadn't made a video in forever. Come out here and rant because I was pissed off seeing two articles this week about it. There's no way Clemson will be in the playoff. Clemson will win the national championship. Sorry, Alabama. We're still going to run the score. We're going to run points all over you just like we did in 15 and 16. But we have the best defense we've ever had. So we'll see how Tua does against us. Go Tigers. Let's beat the Pack.